Oh. Okay. Alrighty, everybody. Hey. Let me get everything set up and post that I'm live, and we will be getting started with the last stream of the year for me. What a year of streaming it has been. Okay. Okay. Why am I being distracted? I'm supposed to be posting that I'm live. And I'm getting distracted. Chat, I'm getting distracted. Hello, LeMay. Hello, Elliot. Oh, cool. You're doing research. Hey, listen, there's nothing wrong with exploring stuff, Elliot. Alright. Oh, wait. Oh, my gosh. I got distracted. I was going to do a thing. Mm-hmm. Okay, to actually post that I'm live. We whoop, whoop, whoopity whoopity whoop, whoopity whoopity whoop, whoopity whoopity whoop. It's not the button I wanted. There we go. Hey, Forever. Yearly Annie list update. Update all of the manga I've read or plan to read. Oh my gosh, that sounds exciting. Posted a song and a couple other things. Oh my gosh, that sounds crazy, Elliot. Oh, that sounds so cool, Kimberly. Counting down. Awesome. I mean, the thing is with Minecraft, it can only take so many mods. Hey, listen, taking feedback is really hard, LeMay. It's one of the hardest, I think it's one of the hardest parts about writing, is taking feedback and going back and like working on stuff, is really hard. Because you wouldn't have written it if you didn't think it looked cool. So then having somebody say it's not everything in a bag of chips can be really hard. So, I think it's part of the growing process of just like, you know, taking like what you can, you know? Okay, let me post that I am live. Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay. Geez, that's exciting, Forever. Oh my gosh, Elliot, that sounds intense. Doing that many mods on a Chromebook? Yeah, I heard about that, Kimberly. Oh my gosh, Java edition on a Chromebook. That poor book, it's gonna be cooking. Hey, Nabiru. Listen, it's not that you have poor tastes, LeMay. Sometimes it's about like one of the things that like I've had to come to grips with is that like sometimes an idea will seem really cool to me, right? Because I thought of it. And like it's not till somebody else reads it back to me or I give it some time and look back at it with fresh eyes that I realize, wait, this isn't as cool as I thought it was. Here's how I can tweak it or modify it, or ways I can better express the idea. I think it helps to try looking at it from a constructive like angle to say, here's how I can improve, and not to look at it from like, oh, well, I'm just bad. 4 hour, 20-minute art and other stuff stream. Oh, that's cool. Very exciting, very exciting. Okay, now let's put this post. Okay. 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 Do I want to post on other places? Yay. Oh. All right. Okay, cool. Okay, focus. Real slow update. Last year, did everything I've read. Thankfully, the site I use to read manga lets me keep track. Oh, that's cool forever. I tried to make a clip, but it won't let me share. Oh, no, Elliot. And then I started on updating everything I'm planning to read. I'm continuing to update this. Then I'll re-update everything I've completed. Then finally tackle the 1K plus manga that's in my currently reading. So many I've dropped or paused, but the site I read on has no way to like filter which is one reason why I'm trying to add everything to any list. Oh, your birthday's coming up, Kimberly? That's awesome. Awesome. Whee. Alrighty. I don't know what you're getting at, Elliot, but I prefer to not talk about drugs. Like I can like the odd 420 joke here and there, that's fine. But like I'm not looking to like talk about like get into like talking about hard stuff or any specific stuff like that, okay? Oh my gosh, I was making food earlier today and I went to get like to scoop out some from the pot that I was making to like taste it. And like a cockroach fell off the ceiling and landed on my fork. It was really funny. Looks like things are stable now. Yes, okay, cool. Hello, Alice. I just kind of flicked it away. It kind of took off. And I obviously washed the fork. I'm glad you have a cat next to you, Elliot. Alright, and... Oh, everybody! So, what's everybody doing for New Year's? What's everybody up to? This is my last stream of the year. Right now, it is the 30th where I'm at. And by the time I end stream, it'll probably be the 31st, New Year's Eve, and gotta be exciting. Gonna see what's happening next. Last class is tomorrow, then the New Year's Eve. Awesome, Kimberly. Gonna eat pizza? That sounds awesome. Forever. Rarely notice the days. Yeah, the days kind of flow together a little bit, Nabiru. And I tried to acclimate the hamster. Oh, okay. That's nice. That's nice. That's nice. That's nice. That's nice. I heard Fauna completed her world tree on HoloLive, which is cool. Hey, pets are a little bit kooky and crazy sometimes, you know? Hey, what's rough? What's up, Noel, man? Have to watch Hamtaro. Yes, that's the answer. Hopefully tomorrow will be better with New Year's Eve for you, Noel, man. Me, I'm probably gonna be sleeping. Oh my gosh. So I sleep on an inflatable air mattress, but there's like a hole in it, and it like deflates every like 2 or 3 hours. Sometimes it goes up to 4 hours before it deflates. And like, I can't afford to get a new one right now. So it's just like, I always just wake up on the floor. But tomorrow I'm probably going to be, I got to call my pharmacy to find out what's going on with my prescriptions, because I got a message that something was up with my prescriptions. I want to try gaming some more. I recently booted up Monster Hunter World again and started working on playing some stuff. I was going to play with Okusen the other day, but some stuff happened in their life, and I was like, I didn't feel like playing by myself. I've been reading a bunch. And thinking about a lot of stuff. Keeps throwing hands. Oh, that sounds somewhere between terrifying and adorable forever. A hamster that just keeps throwing hands. Why is my phone going off? Oh, still was sending me a bunch of pictures. Probably a bunch of. Lots of gatai. Let me check something real quick, because I need, like, something weird happened the other day. Yeah, it did happen. Okay. So, like, yesterday, right, I was taking a nap before I had my Lancer session, right? And, I got a phone call, right? And I saw it was from my mom. And I'm like, oh, I wonder what my mom wants, right? And, like, I answer the phone, obviously. I'm still half asleep. And, like, he nibbles, runs away, comes back, nibbles, and then smack my finger. Oh, that's cool, Kimberly. That sounds adorable forever. Just like smack the fingers. My mom called me, and like I've had issues with my mom before and stuff, and we've had our fair share of things, right? And like there was the whole stink because like she wanted me to come down there for the holidays, and I didn't want to travel. And she was like, I want to see you. And I'm like, I don't want to travel. And she said she would come up here, but then she didn't. And then there was a whole thing, right? And I was just like, you know, whatever about it, right? And she calls me yesterday, and I'm half asleep, and she starts talking about how she was having brunch or breakfast or whatever with like one of my aunts and one of my cousins, and they were talking about like being mothers and about some of the stuff about raising kids and like it was this thing where like my cousin was saying that her mom, who was my aunt, was like, you know, she understood that like my aunt had like hadn't been all the things she needed her to be, but she did the best she could, and this whole thing. And I'm like half asleep, and my mom's going on this long-winded thing, and then she's like, well, I just wanted to like apologize because I know that like I wasn't really, you know, everything you needed me to be, and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, okay. That's cool, Kimberly. A K-pop card? So like a card with K-pop artists on it? Or like a card you can use to buy K-pop music? Like a gift card or something? And so I'm like, okay. And I'm like, I wasn't sure what to say there. So I was like, okay, well, you know, I love you, and I understand that you did the best you could. You know, it may not have been great, but like, you know, I love you dearly, and so on and so forth. Like, I was just like, you know, whatever. Because a lot of my frustration that I have with like my interactions with my mom currently isn't so much directed to like stuff that happened when I was a child as much as related to like stuff that happened when I was an adult, you know? Of like, nice, Kimberly, cool. Um, like, it's just a whole bunch of stuff, you know? And it was just really weird having my mom be like all like, because we barely talk, and then having her call me and be like all weepy and stuff. And I don't know if she was trying to guilt trip me or what was going on, but I was like, yeah, I love you, mom. You know? Like, mm, um, And it was interesting. It was interesting. Yeah, like I've had issues. Thank you, Kimberly. It's like I have had issues with my mom, and we've had like our disagreements, and like there are some frustrating things that like I wish had been dealt with, and better like appreciated and like, you know, processed. But like I also understand that like my mom was like operating with like she didn't have the best home life herself, and she was operating with like a lot of the best stuff that she knew how, and like it is what it is, you know. I have to move forward, you know. It's just it was just really weird. Like I was half asleep and my mom was just like pouring her heart out. I'm just like, what? What? Okay. Yep, moving forward with me. Thank you, Kimberly. Yeah, it really do be like that forever. Waiting for a game to drop on spring 2025. It's the Shadowverse card game sequel. Hopefully we get more news about it in January. Shadowverse got a sequel? Did they just like end the game? Like, I'm confused. What is this, Kaijudo? Ew. Right, Nabiru? That's funny, Alice. That's funny. That's really funny. I think one of the things I want to actually do in Flotopia, ooh, that sounds fun. One of the things I think I might want to do in the new year is do something I have been talking about doing for flipping years. Years and years and years. I've been talking about doing this. Doing a lore accurate playthrough of Monster Hunter. Which is theoretically feasible in Monster Hunter World and Iceborne because you can get investigations that will give you the opportunity to try to farm other monsters. And you could do expeditions to get investigations to get things that you want to fight more of. Right? But when I say lore accurate, in lore, right, you only do each hunt, you only succeed each hunt one time. The idea is about maintaining the balance of nature and not over hunting. Which is kind of funny because in actual playing the game, we will do the same hunts over and over and over and over again till we get the parts we want. Which is kind of funny. So the thought of being like, okay, I'm going to do each hunt one time, but succeed one time. If I fail, then I can retry till I succeed, whatever, but try not to like cheese and stuff. And then doing the thing where I do the hunts, not use the defender gear or anything like that, actually have to play the game, and see if I can make it through. See if I can make it through the game. And see what armor I can make doing this stuff one time. And then I think the fact that you can do investigations makes some stuff possible. But the thing is that, like, you have to go through the effort to get the investigations. Oh, that's cool, Kimberly. How was it? I heard Squid Game was really good. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, and you haven't liked the stream yet, please like the stream. It helps the algorithm with getting it out to more people. It lets me know what people are watching, and it's just really cool beans. Well, the first game's story has ended, so they're moving to the sequel to keep the story going, plus upgrade gameplay and systems. Like, after 8 years of the first game going, we get a fresh start. I guess. Like, I mean, the thing is, in a game that has set rotation, where it's like you have to keep spending more and more money to keep up with the game, I see that happening, right? But as someone who's always been a free-to-play player, as someone who's always been a very low-cost player of different games, it's like, that sounds really frustrating, because it's like, well, you know what? Rip all the time and money you've invested in the game. You got to start all over. It's fun to watch Squid Game. Good. Like, I heard it was like really intense and interesting and all that stuff. Okay. I might do a stream of like trying to like do photo editing, picture editing, to do like open GIMP or something, and then bring in all the different pictures or something, and try to like edit together like pictures to make my persona. That could be fun. That could be its own thing. It wouldn't be something I could advertise, but it would just be like a little silly fun thing. Alright, let me get into position. Okay, let's get started. Gonna do some writing. Gonna get some more notes down about the idea that I was tinkering with last time. Ooh. Ooh, I just found something cool. I was just Googling random stuff online. Because I am weird. And I found a really cool Nerd Gigante armor sticker. It looks really cool. I don't know if it's... I don't know who made the original art. But I love the picture. Can I get this image? Just grab the picture. It did grab the picture. Okay, cool. Alrighty. Kind of frustrating that our stuff won't carry over, but we'll get some bonuses from linking the old game account to the new one. I guess that's something. That's something. As long as you get something, Wellbane. Okay. Alrighty. Alright. I'm gonna go to the writing portion of tonight's stream. We're gonna do more stuff about my story that I was working on last stream. Gonna get more data down, more ideas, jotting more stuff down. Okay, let me get this stuff so I can actually see the chat when I'm on the other page. You uploaded a preview? Nice, Elliot, nice. And it's also a thing where, like, I have been watching so much stuff about Neurosama recently. It's got me thinking about a future story idea that'll be more sci-fi, that'll deal with, like, an AI character that I think could be really interesting to kind of explore some of that kind of stuff. Like, all this stuff with Neurosama and everything has got me thinking about ideas for future stories that feature, like, because I haven't really done a lot of stuff with AI, right? That's cool, Elliot. I'm proud of you, Elliot. That's awesome. What? What? I have no idea what you're referring to, Elliot. I was talking about AI characters. And Neurosama. We only half listening again, Elliot. Neurosama is an AI VTuber. It's really funny. I was telling Silva about Neurosama, and I'm like, yeah, it's an AI VTuber. And Silva was like, oh, like Melody? I'm like, no. Melody is a VTuber whose lore is that she's AI. Neurosama is a VTuber that is entirely controlled by AI. That is actually AI. And it's Beetle987 has been working on developing her into a very functional, one of the most powerful AIs I've ever seen. It's just really cool to see how she's been developing. And the reason why I've been thinking about her so much is because December 19th is her birthday. And so right now they're having the subathon, right? To celebrate Neurosama's birthday. It's a thing where, like, Beetle originally developed her to play. No, this is an AI art. There's an actual artist that, like, the actual art, like the model was made by an actual artist, Annie. And there's this running joke that is kind of taken a little bit out of hand by the community of that, like, Beetle is Neuro's father and Annie is Neuro's mom because Annie made the art and I think did the rigging and stuff for the body that Neuro controls. What's that supposed to mean, Elliot? And it was this whole thing that, like, so there's Neuro and then there's her twin sister Evil, and so that's a whole thing that's just been going on. I've been seeing a lot of clips and stuff for, like, stuff from the subathon. Thank you, Elliot. I appreciate that. And I've just been seeing a lot of clips and stuff of Neurosama, which has been getting me thinking about, like, AI and, like, what I would do with, like, an AI character, like how I would write an AI character, because I've always been attracted to, like, kind of like artificial characters that are like living machines or living golems and stuff. And the idea of like that kind of a computer program that is like has come to life in its own way could be really interesting. I think it has a lot of potential for storytelling. And I might explore that later on down the line in some of my more sci-fi stories. Not in this one, because this one's like the one I'm working on now is like medieval fantasy. You know what I mean? You're not gonna have an AI in that. Oh my gosh. Nabiru. So there was a whole thing where like someone from like the AI someone from like the AI tech bro community, like I guess did like an interview or something, or did like an article talking about Neurosama, and like Beetle and Neuro were like did a collab with like some tech VTuber, not VTuber, some tech streamer or whatever, and like these tech bros were so like, it's all right, Elliot. We just don't have to talk about that. These tech bros were so blown away with like how functional and how responsive Neuro was, right? That like one dude wrote this, it was like a really long, almost like article length thing where he was just like, I don't think Neuro is really controlled by an AI. And he listed two main reasons why he believed that. And one of the reasons was that she was reacting too quickly and her responses were like too like coherent. She was responding too quickly with too like coherent of responses that just seemed like it was beyond anything. And it's so consistently that he was like, this is like beyond anything that like we've seen modern AI do. And it's like, well, you know, Beetle has been working on this nonstop for 2 years. And like it was originally developed like 6 years ago to play. Neuro was originally developed, I think it was like 4 or 6 years ago, to play Osu. I think it was a rhythm game, as just an AI to play the rhythm game. And then like, and I think she used like a free model at the time. And then like, he was like, hey, I could do something more with this. And he kind of set the project down, and then he picked it back up 2 years ago in 2022 and has just been cranking out on it, working almost nonstop to improve and upgrade and fine tune all of the stuff for Neuro. And he's been like, he's had this kind of obsession with minimizing latency, right? And having Neuro able to respond faster and faster and faster to be more and more human. And it was just like the Beetle community they're called the Swarm. And they were just like, you know, it's funny because like this is what Beetle has been working towards, has been like, as people who have watched Neuro get more and more and more responsive, more capable, more intelligent, and so on and so forth, as Beetle has just kept developing it, developing her. Everyone's like, yeah, that's what he's been working on. Like, yeah, that's why she's so responsive. And then the second thing, oh my gosh, the second thing that the guy said that he thought why he thought Neuro was being controlled by a person. There was one part where the tech streamer they were doing the collab with made a joke. And there was a moment where there was what this person described as a feminine giggle, like a female sounding giggle or laugh that seemed to have happened very instantaneously right after a joke was said. And he's like, that was not something an AI would do. And everybody just laughed at it because you realize that was Beetle laughing, because Beetle was in the call too. Beetle's the guy who made Neurosama. And there's this running joke that Beetle is kind of like a femboy. is like kind of an effeminate femboy is kind of like a running gag. So that everyone's just like, Vito's never beating the femboy allegations. Especially the whole thing with like Vito being described as like being like a effeminate or a femboy comes from the fact that like he did a collaboration with what's her name, what's the Fox girl who did the who does the 3D streams, who did the VTuber awards, not Shy Lily, the one who actually does the awards. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on her name. Fillion, yes, Fillion. So, Vito did a collab with Fillion where, like Fillion has described herself as being like a very small, a small girl, right? And, he was like, Vito was like, hey, no problem, Elliot, no problem. So Vito was like physically in the same place as Fillion as they were doing the stream. And like Fillion let Vito wear her tracking stuff. So that way he was controlling her model and he was just like doing stuff with a 3D model. And then just like on a whim, Fillion was like, I wonder if I could throw this dude over my shoulder. And she just out of the blue grabs Vito and just like chucks him over her shoulder. And she's like, I just wanted to see if I could, because he seemed the right size for it. And so that was this joke because Fillion has described herself as being a small girl. And so the thought of like him being small enough and light enough that like she was able to just like shoulder throw him with no warning and no wind up. And you couldn't see her because she wasn't wearing tracking software, but you just saw her model, which Vito was controlling, just flip over. So then that's where the running joke about saying that that Vito was like a femboy or effeminate, and it was so then the whole joke about where he did that giggle that somebody thought was a girl that they thought was voicing Neurosama, and they were trying to use that as references to say that they thought Neurosama was not AI controlled and was actually controlled by a person. And it was like, it was just kind of, it all came full circle. Aw. Yes. I was wondering if you were going to react to that, Elliot. Okay. We were talking about Beetle987, the creator of Neurosama, and there was this time when he was collabing with this girl who kind of just literally like physically bodily picked him up and threw him over her shoulder. And she was just like, he was so small. And so there was this running gag that he was a small effeminate femboy. And then there was the thing when he was doing I don't know if it was an interview or some kind of like collab with a tech streamer, and the streamer made a joke and he giggled, he like laughed because it was a funny joke. But because of how high pitched his voice was whenever he was like laughing and he was trying not to laugh hard, people thought that it was a girl laughing. So they assumed, well, not they assumed, this one person said they were using that as proof to say they thought that Neurosama wasn't really controlled by an AI, but it was controlled by a woman who like broke character and laughed. And so people were saying Vito's never gonna beat the femboy allegations. Okay. Yes, Neuro does call Filian a Filipino boy because of an error trying to translate her name. That's funny, Elliot. Well, the thing is, like, as Vital has mentioned, like, Neuro is designed to, like, not only take what people are saying and try to respond to it, but also try to, like, not just respond in a way that makes sense, but also to find a way to respond in what is the most entertaining or funniest response possible, right? To try to string together the funniest and most interesting response possible, right? And that leads to some very funny times of interactions. What's this? What's this? I'm going to run this ad on Twitch because I know there are people watching on Twitch. And then once the Twitch ad runs, we're going to get to the actual writing part that I've been saying that I was going to get to forever ago. Eventually, all sci-fi stories may become real. That's true. That's true. Nabiru. Let's game it out, subscriber. I have to. What's the question? I don't follow the question, Elliot. Hello, DJ Clark. Good to see you. How was your year? 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 Hey, Nevermore. I see you on Twitch. I just started running an ad. It's been good? That's great, DJ Clark. That's great. You doing anything special for New Year's? Is there a limit until the chat has to be called out? What, here? Yes. If things go too far, I will have to ban people. Probably gonna watch the ball drop. That's cool, DJ Clark. But yeah, Elliot, if you start making like offensive, with Neuro. I think there are limits. People do get banned. They actually had a stream where they were reviewing unban requests. Like there are like restrictions of like what people say. And I don't know if so much people flirt with Neuro because like Neuro has the image of like a young girl and has like the kind of like mental capacity, if you would call it that, of like a young like it's kind of she's kind of like everyone's daughter. Or like everyone's little sister. I know you wouldn't know, Elliot. I know. That's what I'm telling you. That's true, Nevermore. Not everyone is a good brother or dad. All right, ad just ended. Let's get to the writing. Actually, I'm going to go refill my water bottle. I will be right back. Everybody. Going to go to the intermission screen. I'm going to go refill my water bottle, and then we will get to the actual writing of tonight's writing stream. Hello! Hey, I'm back. Desdemona Rose, thank you for rating on the Twitch side. I appreciate it. What should you draw, Elliot? What should you draw? Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you. You should draw a giant robot space dragon. That's what you should draw, Elliot. A giant robot space dragon. Oh, you ate cod? Nice. Nice. Alrighty. Let's get to tonight's main event, as it were. I'm being silly, Elliot. But fine, giant robot dragon. Or maybe you just draw Nergigante. The flagship monster from Monster Hunter World, my favorite dragon of all time. And the thing I've based my persona on, which is the main character of the story I'm writing tonight. Ha-ha! Well, I'm working on tonight, at least. Let's see, whoops, that's the wrong thing. Wrong window. There you go. Wrong window. It's like, wrong lever, Grunk. Why do we even have that lever? Fine. I'll show you a picture of Nergigante. That's not the right button. This is Nergigante. He's big. He's spiky. He's strong. He doesn't use magic. He doesn't breathe fire. He just almost infinitely regenerates. And he just claws things. He's beautiful. Ooh, this is cool. I like this one. Hey, you can try something. Do what you want. I'm one of these days I want to have money to actually commission someone to make art of my my character and my story. But like I don't have money because I just don't. But so like this is the armor that I want to base it around and like have the Nergigante wings, the head, the claws for the feet and the claws for the hands. Get rid of the slinger on the left hand and put like spikes like this on the left hand like it has on the right hand. Chat's in the way. Oh, hold on. Whoop. Here. Someone made a full cosplay package. I'm like, no. I just need the picture. I just need the picture. But yeah. That's a really good picture of it. Yep. Mm-hmm. This is a really good picture of it. Okay. Come on. There we go. That's a good picture of it. I'll be that picture has a weapon on its back, but male. It's funny. I was doing some research on like Nerd Gigante stuff for my story, right? Because originally it had started as kind of like an adult story. Thank you, Kimberly. I appreciate that. Originally, the story had started as kind of wanting to be kind of an adult story that was going to be like featuring some really spicy scenes. And I was like, I was going to feature some of that stuff, but I was like, I didn't want to do that on stream. So then I decided that I would just write the actual like story parts on stream, and then I would probably like write the like spicy adult scenes for like off stream, just like kind of like as side stuff that wasn't super relevant to the plot, right? So I was doing research on stuff, and there's lots of, you know, there's lots of furry art and stuff about different characters or whatever, right? And I was just doing stuff as like trying to refresh my knowledge of like Nerd Gigante stuff, because I hadn't like looked into this stuff in so long. And so I got to the thing. Apparently they released an art book that was like dealing an art book for Monster Hunter World that had like lots of lore and stuff with it. And someone took a picture of one excerpt that talked about the reproductive habits of Nerd Gigante that they had in lore, in the actual official Monster Hunter lore. Now, of course, hey, Julian, I took a little bit of off because I was going through some stuff, Julian, and I took like 2 weeks off, 2-3 weeks off, because I was dealing with some mental health stuff and with the holidays and stuff. But like, I'm back now, I guess. But it's good to see you, Julian. But it's really funny because like in lore, it is a thing where all Nerd Gigante are asexual, and they reproduce through their spikes. They leave spikes everywhere, and whenever like their spikes break off and they stab it into stuff, and if there's enough energy in the spikes when they break it off, the spikes will grow into an entirely new Nerd Gigante that's like a genetically identical to the parent, except for sometimes they mutate and will have like different traits, which is where Ruiner Nerd Gigante comes from. And that was just really funny that like there was that detail in the lore, and I'm like, well, I'm not using that detail in my story, but that was just really funny that they'd gone over that in lore. I just thought that was funny. Here's another really good picture. I like this picture. Anyway. Really? That's interesting, Julian. I'm doing better now. I was kind of going through some stuff for a little bit with the holidays. But I'm feeling better. And just dealing with life, I guess. You know, doing the best I can with what I've got. But how have you been, Julian? How was your year? And are you doing anything special for New Year's? All right, let me get. Oh my gosh, I keep saying I'm going to get to actually like writing, and I'm getting distracted all over again. Well, this is just getting in the zone, I guess. Oh, it's fine, Elliot. It's perfectly fine. I'm just being. I'm having fun being a little silly. I'm having plenty of fun being a little silly goober. I want to get, because the thing is, one of the fun things about playing a game that's on PC that's been out as long as Monster Hunter World and Iceborne has is that like there's so many mods that you can get, right? And like there's one mod that like I wish I haven't found anyone has made it yet. But I wish I could find someone who could make it, or I could pay someone to make a mod for Monster Hunter World, and that would be to make a whatchamacallit, a version of Nergigante that heals over time, like. If you don't Elder Seal it, like it'll heal or something. Because it's about infinite regeneration and like the fight where like you have to do more damage before it out heals you, you know? Probably be broken, but I think it'd be interesting. I'm doing okay. I might just play with my friends on New Year's, but I don't really know what to do. Oh, okay, that's cool, Julian. What do you mean floofage, Elliot? He doesn't exactly have fur. He has spikes. Like here, this is a really good picture of it. I see. That could be interesting. Like if you look at it, the spikes kind of look like fur. So I guess that could be furry. I guess I hadn't thought about it. A long floofy noodle. Okay. All right. let's get to the actual writing that I've been promising I was going to get to for like the last hour. Like, this is a picture of Nergigante in its different forms. Starts like this. When the fight starts, it grows spikes out like this. When the spikes harden, they turn dark and they turn to look like this. And it is nearly impenetrable. And I believe its attacks do more damage. And then when its spikes get like this, it does a huge dive bomb, throwing itself at its enemies and doing a huge AoE when it slams down, and it breaks off all of the spikes and does a bunch of damage. And then it starts back at the top, and then as the fight goes on, it keeps going between the phases. But if you do enough damage and you break the spikes, they don't harden and it doesn't get to the third phase. So you can keep it in the second phase. Ooh, I like this one. Can I turn this? Can I rotate this? Why is this sideways? Why is this sideways? And this is a good picture of it's funny, this is the sword and, well, the axe and shield or whatever that the character normally fights with. Kind of bothers me that sideways. I want that image though. Where did that image come from? What is this? Where did this image come from? Because I've seen this image before. I've seen this thing of the hunter before. But like, this looks like cons from the concept art, which is funny. Someone uploaded the concept art onto DeviantArt. That's I don't know if this is actually someone's interpretation of it, but it looks like the stuff from the bottom of the concept art image. Okay. There we go. Cool. Actually, I want to set that as my wallpaper on my computer. That actually looks really cool. Hold on one second. Where am I? Now, let me just... Cool. Awesome. So that is my desktop background. Cool. Yoinkified. Yes, that's better. Cool. Awesome. Outstanding. All right. Something from Digimon? That's funny. His weapon. Sword. It's an axe and shield. Here. There's a good picture of it. Come on. I just need the picture. Why are you taking me to a whole catalog? I just wanted the picture. Oh, that's the wrong one. This is the right one. Why is it not giving me the gallery? That was not the button I wanted. That's his weapon. A big axe and a shield. All right. Yes, they would. Yes, their head absolutely would explode, Elliot. Absolutely. No questions asked. Like, I was talking to someone about it in my Lancer game, and they were like, if you look at it, right, our brains are like wired for like some levels of hunting and gathering, right? And we have steadily like increased the things that like we do with our brains to all of this like complex stuff through like years of like becoming like acclimating to things and whatnot. But if you took a medieval peasant and you showed them like social media, or you showed them like you know, music videos, or like it would just like show them a video game and it would just like blow their mind. Can you imagine explaining a video game to a medieval peasant? Be like, okay, so there's a screen. What's a screen? Well, it's a flat thing that an image is on, but the image moves. So your boy Con Ming, oh my gosh. You're bringing angry birds. But why are the birds angry? Because they're fighting the pigs, duh. What? I don't... What the... What? I had a thought a while back of trying to do a story of someone getting isekai'd into, from a modern day world into a fantasy world, right? That's actually interesting, Elliot. But imagine a person from modern day getting isekai'd into a medieval fantasy world, right? Where they've got magic and sorcery and sword and sorcery and all that stuff, right? And elves and dwarves and halflings and all of that, right? And that person has no special powers. And their idea, and they know about this fantasy stuff because they play a lot of TTRPGs, except they're a forever GM, right? They're a forever GM, and their hobby is homebrewing and customizing and making their own rule sets and systems for playing TTRPGs. So what do they do in this fantasy world? They create a TTRPG in a fantasy world. Like, imagine that, right? And I was thinking it'd be really hilarious. Someone gets, like, exactly. But I was thinking it'd be even funnier, right? If someone from modern day gets isekai'd into a medieval fantasy world and they create a sci-fi TTRPG, like a Star Trek TTRPG, but they have to explain that to people in a medieval fantasy setting. Because, like, think about it. If you make D&D when you're living in a medieval fantasy world, it'd be like, well, why do the elves get this stat and the halflings get this stat? Hold up. It's like, because it's too real to the situation. So what's going to be the fantasy? The fantasy is sci-fi, space travel, aliens, lasers. Well, if it's a medieval fantasy, like, kind of thing with, like, because think about it, it's a thing where, like, you've got, like, magic and you've got other stuff, and, like, having to explain about, like, going to the smith to get them to cut out the right shape of the different dice shapes. Like, no, you have to understand, it's an 8-sided die, but die only have 6 sides. No, you don't understand. I was talking to one friend about it, and they were like, you would have to explain it in ways people would understand. Like, say, it's like the spaceships are like carts, or like horse carts and wagons. Anyway. So where was I in this story? I was talking about, he hadn't even finished getting isekai yet. He was still talking to Dragalia, the goddess. Yes, that is exactly it, Nabiru. Yes, you see, elves are pompous, selfish, and love nature to a real elf who just glares at you. That'd be interesting, DJ Clark. The two things are not mutually exclusive, Elliot. Totally not to mess, just to mess with cat girls. Oh my gosh. Okay, there was like a Tumblr post that I read forever ago. I can't find it. That would be ridiculous, now, Elliot. Trying to explain something like Undertale to an adventurer's guild. But I read this post. It was like a Tumblr post or whatever, years ago, years and years and years ago. I can't find it again. I've tried looking for it and I gave up. But it was this whole thing about like someone going on a rant of like if you lived in a future with cat girls, right? And it was like it was like everyone thinks cat girls are real until I'm the only one in the polycule willing to change the cat girl's litter box. uh uh Which also reminds me, I introduced cat girls into my Lancer game, and like one of the player characters was like super like against like cat girls and didn't trust them and didn't like them because like they snuck onto the ship and there was a whole thing involved with that, right? And like completely ignoring the fact that they snuck onto the ship because that player stole stuff from them and they were trying to get it back. And like when the cat girls were going to like become friends of the team and join the ship, that player was like, do we need to get cat boxes? And the cat girls were like out drinking with everybody and they were drunk and they're like, we don't use litter boxes. And like this player was like this character was like being super mean and making the cat girls cry. There were cat girl NPCs, but it was just this like really interesting moment. Mm-hmm. You done with the art? Oh, I'm curious what you made, Elliot. I'm really curious. I'm curious how it came out. What did I do? Moss. Where are you gonna post it? I posted something on my friend Hero Girl's Discord server of like people like having these tops that they launch with power tools, and they're like spraying flaming gasoline into a steel bowl that they're all going around in, and someone's like spinning fire everywhere, and someone's just like, that's just the season finale. The key to the door is in the the key to the door is in the litter box. It's completely magic resistant. Gotta climb into the litter box. All right, let me see this. All right, let me see. You posted on YouTube? YouTube? Okay, hold on. Let me hit your channel. Oop. Hey, let me put this on. Hold on, let me put this. Oop. Oop. Very nice. Community, here we go. Aw, fluffy kitty. Thank you. Look, it looks very nice. Another part? Oh, that's cool. Let me see if I can zoom in on this. Can I make it bigger? This one is cute. Give it a nice big thumbs up. I like this one with the horns. I like the face. The face looks really cool. Can I repost it? I don't know if that's a... Can I do that? That a thing I can do? Oh, it is. Okay, I can repost it on YouTube and I can put it other places. Okay, cool. Sure. I didn't know I could share it other places too. It used to be I couldn't share these outside of YouTube. Oh, well, YouTube finally fixed their stuff. This whole bottom part didn't used to be there. It used to just be the repost button. There we go. Give it a share. I'll give you a comment too. There you go. Cool. Mm-hmm. Alrighty. Ah. That would be funny, Elliot. That's cool, DJ Clark. What, Julian? What? Huh? It's not even a competitive game. What? And huh? I can't even fathom that. I don't understand. Julian, I can't even fathom that. The thought of a gotcha game being around long enough for that, like, that's just, I can't even fathom that. Like, is there even a competitive side to Genshin where like an auto clicker would be like relevant? Like, what? What? Like, it'd be one thing if the player was like, oh, I hacked my account so I got extra rolls from the gacha, or I hacked my account so that way I guaranteed got the character I wanted instead of having to pull for it, or like some other kind of malicious thing. Like, but like an auto clicker? An auto clicker? It's just so bizarre. Like, what? Oh, wow. That's interesting. There's so many things on Roblox. Ah. I guess if you're planning to make an account, use an auto clicker to farm materials, and then get tons of things so that way you can, I guess, craft. I don't know if there's crafting or whatever, and then like artificially like speed up the growth of the account and then sell the account. Like, and I feel like at that point you would get the person for selling the account, right? But I guess if you can't prove they're selling the account, but you can prove they're using an auto clicker, I guess you get them for what you can. I don't know. It's kind of like that whole thing that like those mobsters who like covered all the tracks and they couldn't be pinned down for any of their crimes and stuff. The government got them for tax evasion. That would make sense, Nabiru. Yeah, like that's jeez. Being banned for 50 years just seems so nuts. Nabiru, that's funny. It's a temporary ban for 9,000 years. Listen, if your game is still running in 9,000 years, long enough for that ban to be lifted, and someone manages to hack to regain access to that account and can still use that same account 9,000 years in the future, that will be absolutely hilarious. Like, we'll have like crystal-based quantum computers or something, and someone's like, yep, I've got 2021 starting year. Or I've got post endgame gear for what post endgame looked like 9,000 years ago. Whoops, the power creep. Starting gear is better than this now. Oh, and you get permabanned if you cheat again. So this scene I'm writing is kind of funny, right? So he's had the moment where he's finding out he's going to be sent, he's accepted being sent to this world, and all of the stuff. There's this huge exposition dump, and she's like, I don't have a lot of power. And he's like, okay, so what power can you give me? I presume it's something dragon-based. And basically she's saying she's going to turn him into a dragon. And the dragon she's going to turn him into is called Spike Armor Dragon, which is the generic name, because I can't name it Nergigante, you know? And so on and so forth. And he's just like, now it's starting to make sense. You chose me because I know Spike Armor Dragon so well. And she's like, yes, you air quotes know it so well that you have paid for hundreds of custom art pieces and written multiple fan fiction novels featuring yourself as an anthropomorphic version of it. I believe you would call it your fursona, which makes no sense since it has no actual fur. She said with a smirk. And do we talk about the costume you were designing? He's like, all right, you don't got to do me like that. But I just think that's kind of funny of just like, he's like, ah, I see. And she's like, yes, I know. I know your sin. Um. All right. Ba, 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 ba. What film series? Nevermore. What film was his failed? Are we talking about the Spider-Man villain ones? Those the Spider-Man villain ones? Where it's like all the Spider-Man movies without Spider-Man in them? Oh my god. Well, Venom was pretty good. Like the first Venom movie I liked. I didn't see Venom 2. And I didn't see Venom 3. I saw bits and pieces of Madam Web, and it was like, what am I looking at? Like, what? Oh my gosh, Morbius. Oh my gosh, Morbius. Why did they bring it to theaters a second time? Why did they bring in Morbius to theaters a second time? Oh, why did they bring Morbius to theaters a second time? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. It's not the button I wanted. It's not the button I wanted. Right. No one wanted those films to begin with. And like, it was a thing where like there were ways that those movies could have been interesting, right? There were ways those movies could have been interesting, right? But like they didn't do that. Like, yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But there were definitely ways those could have been interesting. Like, just from what I saw of like Venom, I'm like, this could have been like the first Venom movie was okay. I'm like, okay, you're introducing a character, you're introducing the setting, and like you're kind of like doing the whole Eddie Brock thing without the relationship to Peter Parker, which is kind of like, right. Don't blame everybody because you made a bad movie. Like, all right, Nevermore. Oh, whoops. Off my table. Oh my gosh. Woo. Thank you, Julian. I bet to Nevermore. Jeez. That could have been cool. That's good. It's a shame they couldn't do anything functional. I didn't even. I saw like some clips from Madam Web, and it was like some kind of like Amazon spider people and like seeing the future, and I'm like, that's not Madam Web at all. Like, what? Like, my first introduction to Madam Web was in the 90s Spider-Man cartoon, right? When the whole thing was she was connected to the web of reality and she could see all of the different possibilities, right? And she was just like this supernatural being, this like extra dimensional being that like could like reach into different realities and was trying to maintain the balance of existence. And like when something was going wrong that threatened an entire reality or stuff was going to go horribly wrong, she could use the web to pull a spider person from another reality to this to whatever reality needed help so they could fix stuff, right? And the idea was that like all of the spider people, the people with the spider powers, were like connected by fate or destiny, and Madam Web was at the center of that destiny. And like with her just being like, oh, I can tell the future, I'm like, yeah, something like that. Like there was like something there with it with Doctor Strange, right? But then it's like, oh, she can see the future, so she's trying to prevent the future. And it's just like, is this like, what was that horror movie where it was like, people prevented the future, or like you saw something was gonna happen and then like they prevented it, but then it kept coming back to you or something? What was that horror movie? The one with like the with the logs fall off the logging truck at the people. Oh, not next. Final Destination, yes. Final Destination, yes. Right. Right. So then when it talks about like, oh, she can see the future and she's trying to prevent the future, and I'm just like, what is this, Final Destination? Like, Yeah. I wonder, like, what characters that actually got me curious. Uh, uh, Eddie Brock, Spider Woman, Willow Wisp, Prodigy. Okay. Yeah, it could be interesting. Dusk, okay. That could be interesting. I was wondering if they had any Iron Man-esque characters. Mm-hmm. Because I was like, if they wanted to do their own Marvel thing, they could have gone for like an Iron Man-esque character. More Warfare? Okay. Hornet, yeah, Hornet's got like kind of a villain. That would have been an interesting character, right? Um, uh, yeah, yeah. But if you're gonna do villains, I feel like Hornet would have been interesting. Um, yeah, heroes or vigilantes. Yeah, I think also they were leaning into this whole like dark, edgy thing, but then they didn't really commit to it, right? Um, yeah. Mm-hmm. Sentry would have been interesting. Oh. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Welcome back, Elliot. I think if they'd done something with Sentry being like a whole thing of like I was doing some writing and we were talking about the Sony movies, the Sony Marvel movies. Because I'm live on both Twitch and YouTube, and one of my Twitch viewers is talking about some movie stuff. So we're just talking about that a little bit as I'm kind of winding down. I think Sentry would have made an interesting character because the whole thing of being like a member of a guard force wearing like a standardized suit of power armor, right? And it could have been just a very like big contrast to Iron Man, where like Iron Man is like this one dude in like a special suit of armor. The idea of like this guy working as part of a team. You could have done like a cop drama. I don't know. I think that could have been interesting. You've been turned into a marketable plushie. That sounds fun, Elliot. Yeah, a lot of the characters are villains, you're right. And I'm wondering why they bought so many villains. Like, all right, have a great day or night. I hope you have a wonderful new year, Julian. It is great to see you. Have yourself a good time, Julian. And I want you to know that I value you, I care about you, and I believe in your potential. A character that I would love to see a movie of that's never had one or made an appearance. Yeah, there is one. Well, there are a few. There are a few superheroes that I would love. That's the reason why Sony couldn't use the Punisher. Okay. Of all of Marvel, what Marvel hero? That's not the button I wanted. No. Aegis. All right, Elliot. Yeah, you're right, Nevermore. Punisher does usually go in, Oh, this is not the Aegis I was thinking of. Who's this? Hold up. This is not... This is not the character I was thinking of, but it looks really cool. Hold up. Oh my gosh. I heard they were going to do Marvel Wars. And Armor Wars. And I'm so hyped for Armor Wars. I really hope it becomes a thing. Yeah, it would be interesting, like having. I don't know what they would do with Tony in there, because like he's like, would it be like a past, like a thing in the past before Tony died? Is it a clone of Tony? Are we featuring what's her name, Riri? Uh, um. So this is the Aegis that I was thinking I would love to see a movie of, right? Search for Spock. That would be interesting. So hold on, let me move this over. Aegis is a hero that I would love to see stuff done with. He is he was a nerd, grew up in Brooklyn. And when he was walking home from school one day, he heard some noise in he's not a villain. On one of my viewers on YouTube asked me what Marvel character would I love to see a movie made of that hasn't been featured. That Nabaru on YouTube asked me what Marvel character has not been featured in a movie that I would like to see a movie out of. And I would love to see something with Aegis. He's not a villain. I would love to see Marvel do something with him. He finds this chest piece. Let me get a picture of it. This he goes into the I haven't really read any comics. I've read about him, but I haven't actually like read comics with him in it. And I've read like overviews of his story. It's funny, I read more like articles and like breakdowns of things about comics than I actually read comics, which I don't know if that makes me a fake fan or whatever. But so the whole thing is he finds this chest plate with the symbol of Athena. And yeah, he is associated with Hercules. It's actually funny how we got associated with Hercules, because Hercules thought he stole the chest plate, and Hercules like attacked him. He had a whole story before interacting with Hercules. The chest plate essentially allows him to generate an energy shield around himself that he can use to shield himself and others. And he can like, I think he can like hit people with the shield or something. I don't know exactly. It's just a thing of like, he's just really defensive, and I like defensive characters. And I can imagine like creative uses for the shield and stuff. But there was a whole thing where like Hercules saw stuff about him, I think on the news or something, and saw the symbol of Athena on his chest plate and thought that he had stolen the chest plate. And so Hercules went after him and was like attacking him, and he was like, I didn't steal the chest plate, I found it in a warehouse. And Hercules like, yeah, sure you did, okay. And the fight's going until Athena herself shows up and is like, I actually chose him to be my champion, and I intentionally put the chest plate there for him to find. And he's like, okay. And Hercules like trains him, and there's a whole thing. But there's one thing that bugs me about him. Like, I haven't read the comic where it happened, so it may make more sense in context, right? But like, the way they killed him off, right, just makes me so upset. Makes me so upset. Yes, Hercules. The way they killed off Aegis in the comics makes me so very upset. So, he Um, basically, he gets confronted by someone who's like, hey, Athena has abandoned you, your powers aren't working, and he's like, nuh-uh, and is like, goes to get away from the person chasing him, jumps out of a building and is going to use his shield to catch himself when he lands, right? Except his powers aren't working for some, I don't know what the reason was, but for whatever reason, his powers were not working at the time. Which I don't think it was that Athena had abandoned him. I think he'd been hit by something that had like nullified his powers temporarily and he hadn't noticed. And he just fell to his death. And then like his body got used to like as part of bait to lure other heroes into a trap. And then like his ghost came back to be like a spiritual guide during a big climactic moment for another hero. And then it's just like, oh, okay. All right, sure. Okay, great. So it's just like, oh, okay. You have this interesting character, right? A very unique power set, right? He doesn't have super strength. He just has a shield, right? And he can reflect attacks. He can reflect energy attacks. He can reflect blows back at his enemies. And I'm sure you can come up with creative uses for shields and stuff. And like a force field. But like, he dies because his powers stop working and he doesn't notice. And he just falls, he just plummets to his death. Like, come on now. Like, air quotes, human characters have survived falling off of buildings before. Like, right? Like, how many Marvel characters that are supposed to be human, right, have survived falling off a building? Like, he's trying to get away from the huntsman, and he just goes, bleh. I don't think he's come back since he was used as a spiritual guide for Amadeus Cho. Like, I don't think there's any references of him ever being revived. I think they just moved on because he was a side character in the New Warriors. I don't think he ever had his own comic book. I think he was just like in an ensemble book. Yeah, that's true. Depending on the writer, they could bring him back. He was literally a champion for a god. So like, yeah, they could just bring him back. Yeah. Yeah. No one remembers when Damian Wayne died. Yeah. But Aegis is a character I would like to see. I think because he's a college student, right? I think you could do a really interesting coming of age story. Right? Come on. You could do an interesting coming of age story, right? He was a nerd who was really into Greek and Roman mythology. Well, that's a DC character. Like, Static Shock's a DC character. Right? And like, having him like work with another team of young heroes as they're all trying to find themselves in the world, like in the way the Marvel world is now, right? Trying to like find your place in this world of superheroes and supervillains. And like it's not a high school character. He's a college character. I think he's in college. And like there was a period where like he took time off of being a hero because he was like having trouble in school, and like they just didn't feature him in the comic book for a while, right? But I don't know. I think that could be an interesting. That could be. You could do a lot of interesting stuff with him, right? And he's a character that wouldn't just be shooting energy beams, right? Because how many things is just shooting energy beams, right? So I would like that. I would like Aegis. What other Marvel heroes would I like? Oh my gosh. Uh-huh. These are not all. Yeah, there's a lot of unknowns they could do. What is this? Hold on, I haven't seen this character before. What are you? These are not exclusively. Works with the Russian Avengers. I don't know who this is. This is referring to Galina Nemirovsky. Oh, okay. There must be a female Crimson Dynamo. These are not all Marvel characters. I googled Marvel characters with power armor. Yeah. So many Crimson Dynamos. Battle suits, Marvel database. This is from the extremists. Battle suit. So it's essentially Iron Man armor built around defensive abilities. Built to absorb the repulsor blasts. That would have been interesting. Defensive Iron Man armor, that's interesting. I got distracted again, chat. I was in the middle of writing and then we started talking about superheroes. Chat, I got distracted. No, it's fine. It's not your fault. I'm just being a silly goose. I'm just being a silly goose. No, it's not your bad. It's fine. This is what stream's about, you know? Having fun, hanging out. This is the last stream of the year. I know, and then that just kind of went down this whole thing. Who is this? There's some mutants. Wolverine asked Forge to build him pseudo armor made of adamantium in case he would ever lose his powers. That would have been cool if they had like an armored Wolverine, but like so much of Wolverine's appeal is seeing like Hugh Jackman being ripped in the movies. You know what I mean? No, that's got too much problems. I like mass-produced. Yeah, it's hard to produce somebody else's character. I like the idea of like, I like grunt mechs. I like the idea of like a hero in a mass-produced suit that has to like rise above, and it becomes more about the skill of the operator than it does about the power of the suit. Right? So that's one of the things I like about the whatchamacallit suit, the one I was talking about before, I forgot his name. The Guardian armor. Yeah, I like grunt suits. I love 8th MS team where you've got like people in mass produced stuff where it's like about the pilot, about the operator, not about like the super stuff. Like the armor becomes a tool in the hands of a capable operator. Um. Was it guard? Was it the guardian armor? I want to say it's guardian armor. Guardsman armor? Who's the porcupine armor? Who is that? Oh, you got 10 minutes? All right. Wow, geez. I should probably be getting to bed myself. It's going on midnight. About to be New Year's Eve, family. About to be New Year's Eve, chat. About to be New Year's Eve. Canadian superhero. Interesting. Oh, you're turning in Nevermore? All right, I should probably wind down myself. I got so distracted talking about superheroes. Yeah, I should probably wind down myself. But it was great chatting with you. It was great having you. I hope you have a wonderful New Year's. I want you to know that I believe in you, I care about you, and I believe the world is a better place for having you in it. Have yourself a wonderful night, Nevermore. And I hope you have a great one. Oh, this is gonna be cool. Force character who's like, You start posting memes. All right, go for it, Elliot. I like this. This is a really simple one. He can project beams of force. He can make force fields to stop incoming things, and he can put force fields on the gauntlets to augment his punches. Use force fields to fly or levitate. It's really interesting and very simple power set, not OP. That's an interesting one. Anyway, got some words done. Didn't get too much stuff done, but it's all right. We spent a lot of time chatting. So that is perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine, chat. All right. Happy New Year, Kimberly. Happy New Year to everybody. Happy New Year to everybody. And I hope you all have a great night. Let me go over my just chatting screen. Okay. Yeah, that's true. We had a good night. We talked about a bunch of stuff. We hung out. It was a nice little night to catch up on stuff. You know what I mean? It was a nice little night to catch up on stuff. Happy New Year to everybody. I want you to know that I love all of you and I believe in each and every one of you. And I think, excuse me, that you should know that you are all special, precious, and unique individuals. You are worthy of love. You are deserving of happiness and good things. You matter. And this world is a better place for having you in it. Have yourselves a great night, everybody. Have yourselves a happy new year. And I will see all of you in the new year, all right? Doing a short ending tonight, not doing the whole long ending. Come on. There we go. Good night, everybody.